a new parasha, and a new sefer, a new book. This week we start the fourth of the 5 Chomashim, the fourth of the 5 books of Moses. The book of BaMidbar is different from what's gone on before. Sefer Shemot dealt with the Exodus, the redemption, culminating in the building of the Mishkan, the sanctuary, and Hashem's presence coming to rest amongst the Jewish people. Sefer Vayikra talked about how the Mishkan was to be used, the sacrifices offered in it, the special laws relating to the Kohanim, to the priests, and how Kedusha, how holiness, spread from the Mishkan throughout the Jewish camp, throughout the Jewish land, and throughout the Jewish year. Sefer BaMidbar resumes the narrative and tells the story of the Jewish people's wandering, BaMidbar, in the desert, during their 40 years of journeying, although in fact the entire book is taken up with a description of what happened in the first year and in the last year of that period. And so, our opening Sidra, BaMidbar, tells us about how the Jewish camp was arranged. There's a whole new cast of characters in this week's Sidra. We meet for the first time the Nesiim, the 12 princes who represented each tribe. We meet the Leviim, the Levites, and the special role that they had to perform. And so the Sidra tells us how the Jewish people were counted. But, unlike the way in which they were counted back in Sefer Shemot, this time they're counted in their individual tribes, because the Jewish camp is arranged by tribes. We found out how many are in each tribe, and then we total up how many are in the Jewish camp altogether. We're told where each tribe lived, because in the Jewish camp, every individual knew their place, they knew their family, they knew their father's house, they knew to which part of the Jewish people they belonged. And we're told how the Leviim not only carried the Mishkan during the journeying, but when the camp was set up, their job was to provide the demarcation between the Mishkan and the rest of the camp, between the holy and, in a sense, the profane, and to make sure that those who were not qualified and not authorized to approach the Mishkan did not, because doing so could have fatal consequences. What this Sedra is giving us is the paradigm of the ideal Jewish community, the ideal Jewish society. It's led by Moshe and Aaron, the rabbi and the priests respectively. The tribes have their own hierarchy and order as well. But the key facet is the arrangement of the camp, and in particular what lies at the centre. We've learnt about the Mishkan as the receptacle for God's presence. We've learnt about the Mishkan as the channel for Kedusha, for holiness. Now the Mishkan fulfills a role as the centre of the Jewish community, with each tribe arranged around the Mishkan. But this is how a Jewish community should be. Not just literally, that perhaps the shul, the synagogue, is physically and metaphorically at the centre of the community's life and community affairs, but also in a very particular metaphorical way, because the Mishkan was not just a place of sacrifice. The Mishkan also had its own inner centre, the Kodesh HaKadoshim, the Holy of Holies, and inside there was the Aron, the Holy Ark, and inside the Aron was the Luchot, the 2 tablets of stone, representing the Torah itself. And so we can see that the centre of the Jewish camp was the Mishkan, and the centre of the Mishkan was the Torah. The ideal Jewish society is structured around and is based on the precepts of the Torah. In that way, it can be guaranteed success. Shabbat Shalom.